like, oh my God, what's all those? Yes, thank you. Right? Sometimes I used to look around. It's like, oh my God, I have so much stuff, but I don't know what to do. So the reason KonMari method became so popular is because of the spiritual aspect of it. That it's not just about moving stuff around. Her books is called Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, right? There is magic in this method. So tidying with KonMari method will not affect only your house, but it can change your life forever. While you're tidying with KonMari method, you're also building your muscle for self-care and deciphering what sparks joy and what no longer serves you. And when you're done with your tidying festival, you're ready to see what life path sparks joy for you. So many of my clients start to see the difference in how they see the world, even after one session. So anyone in here in transition with life or job or relationship? Anyone? Or anyone starting something new? Yes, thank you. Yeah, so new year, new you, right? Okay, I can't figure out how to not have my hand being raised. So I'm just gonna keep it up so that way I don't have to worry about not keeping my hand up too high. So spiritual decluttering is great for everyone, and it is perfect for someone who is in transition to bring in a new energy. And may I share a little bit about myself now? Is that okay? Thank you. So I am a certified KonMari consultant and a Reiki Master Teacher. Reiki is a Japanese energy healing method, and I guide my clients with KonMari session, not just organizing, but also with life transformation, bringing out a lot of the spiritual side of KonMari method. And I'm also a relationship coach certified by Alison Armstrong, which help guide a couple through spiritual decluttering or someone who's having a relationship challenges. And let me be honest with you. I used to live in chaos. Pile of clothes, pile of books, pile of papers, pile of everything all over the place. And here is what my kitchen used to look like. So you don't have to look at me. Like I'm like posing, but you see how much of a mess that kitchen is, right? Like I never really took a picture of before how messy it is because I'm like, oh, I don't want people seeing it. And I realized, oh, I have to show what my before picture is. So the only one I found is like, I'm posing in a very messy kitchen. So I often hear women complain about their boyfriend or husband sock on the floor. Well, I was the one with sock on the floor. I was the messy one. So here is after, just so you see my transformation. But this is another before. That's a closet and a drawer. And I love stuff and I get attached to things. And I never had time for organizing, as you can see with my before picture, right? And sometimes like I'll spend the whole weekend. For those of you who's messy, you probably have this moment where like, oh my God, I can't deal with this anymore. I gotta do something. So you may spend the whole weekend. And then by next weekend, at least for my case, I'm like, it looks as if I did nothing. It's a chaos again. So I would just shove everything into a closet. As you can see, that was a closet that I shoved everything in. There was no organization. I couldn't find anything. I'll end up buying same kind of jacket because, you know, I don't see them in the closet. I think maybe some of you can relate. Right? It's like, oh, that looks great. But, oh, wait, I already owned that one. So I just thought that I would never, ever be able to be a tidy person. Right? And I'm like, why bother? So this is a drawer I never used to fold. I would just like crumble them and I throw them in, and I can never find the kind of clothes that I wanted. I kind of had to like dig through and find stuff. And then I found KonMari method. What attracted me about the KonMari method is that I can keep as many items as I want, as long as it sparks joy. So I don't have to throw away anything, or I don't have to be limited by what I needed to do. So it really resonated with me. So I went through each of the 5 categories that KonMari has that I will explain in a little bit very thoroughly and held each items to discover what brought me joy. And I let go of items that no longer speaks to my heart with gratitude. And to my surprise, I donated over 500 outfits and 900 books and 2 full carloads of miscellaneous items. Thank you for your reactions. And I found designated spot for each item, so I kept. And I felt so much lighter and so much joy, and it was so freeing. So here is the picture of my after. You see the difference? And this is one of the 5 closets that I owned. So don't worry, I still kept half of my clothes. So if you're thinking like, oh, I can't do this because I'm not a minimalist, I do own a lot of stuff, but they all spark joy. And I used to own twice more stuff. So I feel like this method worked for me and people like me who love stuff and still want to be organized and have the feeling of freedom. So now I look around and my home only contains items that spark joy. And, those of you who's my Reiki student who's been to my home, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like this background, often people say like, oh, that's such a great Zoom background. No, it's always been this way. This is not set up for Zoom. It was set up even before Zoom days. So my home is decorated with the way that sparks joy for me. And sometimes, let me show you another closet view. And that's the before and after. So I sometimes open my closet, even though I don't need anything, just to get joy out of how organized and beautiful it is. And I often hear my clients telling me doing the same. It's just, I just keep opening it up. You see the right one? I even put like a silver foil wallpaper inside. And then I have the checker wallpaper at the bottom. And everything looked so happy that I couldn't help it, but I keep just opening up the closet. So that's the transformation is not just the items, right? The feeling that I get. It used to be like, oh God, I don't want to open this closet. I think that stuff is in here somewhere, but if I open it, I'm going to cause an avalanche. And then I'm going to have to spend hours looking for things, right? From that to like, oh, I can't wait to open this closet. I just keep opening it up. So that's the transformation that you could be feeling when you do the spiritual decluttering. And not only that, my productivity skyrocketed because I don't have to waste time looking for things. I can focus on what I need to do because my space is peaceful without any distraction. And if I needed something, I can find them. I know exactly what address, right? We say each item needs address. So if I knew exactly where to go find scissors, I'm not looking. I'll be like, okay, I'm going to the office and it's in that drawer. Okay, so you may be wondering, why did you become KonMari consultant? I became KonMari consultant because I wanted to help people like me who are struggling with tidying their home. And I wanted to help them guide in their transformation. As a KonMari consultant, I'm like your fitness trainer. I am here to guide you how you can best go through KonMari Method and spiritual decluttering. So fitness trainer knows what muscle group to work on in what frequencies and all that good stuff. And also is an accountability buddy. So I'm like your fitness trainer for your spiritual decluttering. And after this event, you can start KonMari Method yourself. Not everyone hire a personal trainer. But if you're serious about losing weight or building muscle or running a marathon, you do much better when you work with professionals. So I'm available for you when you're ready. And after my tidying, I was much freer. I never thought I could move before I did the KonMari Method because I had way too many things. I'm like, I'm going to be stuck in this apartment for the rest of my life. But I was able to moving with my best friend 9 months before pandemic, which was a divine timing. I can't imagine being stuck in a cluttered apartment for a couple of years during pandemic. So before pandemic, for that 9 months, I traveled around the world and lived the life of my design that sparks joy. And during pandemic, I enjoy staying at home because I look around and everything sparks joy. So enough about me. Let me share with you 6 principles of KonMari tiding. And I would like you to repeat after me with each one. And afterward, I'll send you a slide so that you know all the steps. But if you repeat after me, even if you're muted, there's more chance that you actually remember. So there will be 6 steps. And the first step is commit yourself to tiding. Can we say it all together? Commit yourself
to
to tiding.
tidy.
Thank you. So decide that you go through tiding festival. And you know what? When you make commitment, interesting thing happen to guide you through your life. Have you ever faced an obstacle right after when you make a commitment? Right? Like ding, ding, ding. And whatever challenge that shows up in one area of your life, does it show up in other area of your life? So one of my clients who is a busy professional in New York City, anytime she's trying to do KonMari tiding homework, her work got in her way. And I'm not like a school teacher, so I don't grade people on how much homework they do, right? I just give them some things to do in case if they have time. But what we actually did is to find out why she's not able to do the homework that she actually wanted to do. And we look at her life and we saw that she needed to set boundaries. Her work was not just getting her way of tiding, but also her personal life. She realized that she gave up having a romantic relationship or social life because she just let the work take over her life. And after she spoke to her boss and learned to delegate to her colleagues, she not only had time to do her KonMari homework, but also started to make time for her friends, her hobbies, and possibility of dating. So that's a little life-changing magic, don't you think? Okay, so now the next one. Imagine your ideal home and lifestyle. So please repeat after me. Imagine your
Your
ideal
ideal home.
and lifestyle. Thank you. So you have time to visualize this at the end. But what I would like you to know is that vision is the most important step. So please do not skip. Many of us, including me, we just want to get going, right? Like vision. Who has time for that? Yes. And many of my clients who has started KonMari Method on their own and that came to me after because they couldn't finish it themselves, often they didn't have strong vision or they never spent time, right? They spend like maybe 30 seconds when they're reading book and then that was it. And when things get tough, and I don't want to scare you, but it is a life transformational method. So there are things that you need to face. It's not always easy. And when things get tough, people give up when they don't have vision. And then they came to me, which I'm happy to able to guide. But I would like you to remember to take time to create a vision for your ideal home and lifestyle. That is the carrot on the stick that you're going to be working towards. Otherwise, many of us don't have enough motivation to keep going. And some of us need guidance in figuring out ideal lifestyle home. That is what I do. And some of us, or many of us, have blocks. Like, who am I to deserve that? So we don't even give ourselves permission to dream big or dream the actual ideal lifestyle. You kind of scale it down. Like, who am I kidding? Or maybe stuck with how it should be, with your cultural conditioning, what you heard from your parents. So you can't even visualize what you really want to have in your life. So I help my clients to see beyond their limited beliefs. And one of my clients was very hesitant to dream about her ideal lifestyle because her boyfriend was living in another city. So she always felt like this is a temporary situation. I may have to move somewhere. He may have to move, to my city, or I may have to go over there. And she did not want to move. And she did not want to ask him to move to her city. And at our session, she realized that her ideal lifestyle is that they both live separately in the cities that they love and see each other on the weekend. It may sound like a simple solution, right? You're just listening to me. But for her, her mind was set that they need to live together eventually, right? So that was what she was working towards, but she was conflicted. So after she figured out what sparked joy for her, and she had a conversation with her boyfriend, guess what happened to that relationship? Let me tell you. Shortly after she finished working with me, she got married, and it came surprise to her. They had no plan of getting married when we were working together. But it happened very quickly and organically because she just kept focusing on her ideal lifestyle and what sparked joy for her, and not what she should be doing. So, a little life-changing magic, right? And who has limited beliefs? Anyone in here has limited beliefs? Oh, maybe not. Okay, some of you. Thank you. Thank you. And when you start to allow yourself to think about your ideal lifestyle, very interesting thing. Shirley, thank you. Very interesting things pop up that you don't even know. Oh, like I started to see the limited belief that I had that I didn't even know that I had. So you may want to work on some of the limiting belief so you can visualize what you really want for your ideal home and lifestyle. Okay, let's go to the third one. Tidy by category, not by location. Please repeat after me. Tidy by category,
not by location.
not by location. Thank you. Why is that? Well, I'm embarrassed to admit that I found 14 scissors when I went around and gathered all my stationery items. And I never knew I had that many, right? Like when you go per room, maybe I had like 5 scissors in my office and, couple in kitchen and couple in bedroom, right? Like, it's like, oh, it's not bad. Right? Okay, 5 maybe a little too many, but hey, you never know. But when I end up seeing 14 of them, I was like, that's a little excessive. So I really need that many. So scissors is kind of small. But when you actually go around and let's say gather all your clothing, some of you live in a small apartment, so you may not be able to tell how much, you may be able to tell how much you have, but some of you have multi-rooms, right? You have some by the foyer, you may have all the jackets, and you may have multiple bedrooms. So when you gather, let's say all your clothes, and create a mountain of your clothes, you see how much you own, and you get some sort of urgency. Like, I'm not sure how it is for guys. I've worked with some guys and they say the same thing often too, but mostly for women. We go through this problem of, I can't find anything to wear in the closet, right? I have so many clothes, but nothing that I want to wear in this moment. That's because it's buried under all the other stuff that you want. And you have all these things that you kept maybe because it was expensive or because it was given by someone, right? And the stuff that really spark joy, you don't see them because it's underneath. So when you actually create this mountain, you will be able to see how much you own. And when you go through one by one, you see what actually spark joy for you. So that's why you don't want to go by room. You want to go by category. And I'll come back and tell you what each categories are. So, when you see how much stuff you own, you may wonder why you have so many, like my scissors, right? And it may be that maybe you don't have faith. Maybe because you can't find stuff, right? I used to not be able to find things. So it's like, oh, let me just get one more, right? I'll just have an extra just in case because I can't find them. Or the big reason of not being able to find them is because I have so many things, but I didn't think of that. So it's kind of ironic. And where does the lack of confidence come from for not being able to find things, right? It's because I had problem trusting that I will be able to put it away in a place where I can find them. So what's great with the KonMari method is every item will have address where it go back. So it makes it very easy. At the end of the day, everyone go back to their home. And I know exactly where everything is. So I worked with a retired engineer, and he kept so many clothes that he no longer wears in many closets. He lives in a very big home. And he never knew he had so many because he never gathers them all together. And he also realized that he no longer need work clothes because he's been retired for over 10 years. And it was taking up his closet space. So he was finally able to let go of his old self. It took a bit of courage to let go of his old self and his younger self and his old identity. So it's not just the clothing, right? Often you're facing your identity. And he became a happy retiree. He actually let go of 60 to 70% of his clothes and kept all the clothes that represent who he is now and who he is becoming. And he's happy that he can find what he wants to wear every day. He was telling me like, oh my God, it's so easy to find the clothes I want to wear because he didn't have to swim through all the clothes that he used to wear when he used to go to work. So a little life-changing magic. And we say goodbye to those items with respect. We don't just toss them. We say thank you with gratitude. So some of us, like me, who get attached to items, right? I was like, oh God, I feel bad throwing these away. But now I actually respectfully say goodbye to them. And I'll talk a little bit more later, but if it's something important to you, you can find a way to release the way that sparks joy for you. So you don't have to just toss them in garbage. So you get to see visual example each category in a little bit. But before that, let's go to the next one. Follow the right order. Okay, everyone repeat after me. Follow the right order. Thank you. There are 5 categories. 5. And it has an order. Starting with easiest category. Clothing. And then books. Then papers. Komonus, which is miscellaneous items in Japanese, and sentimental items. So clothing is the easiest because we have less attachment. It may sound woo-woo, but everything has an energy. And sometimes we may need to feel the energy with the items or the past memories. And what happened when you're wearing those clothes? One of my clients, who is a nurse, had a look on her face when she picked up her scrub. We're doing virtual sessions, and I can tell, even virtually, her face shifted when she picked up her scrub. She said, I know I should only keep what sparks joy, but I never like them. But I have to wear them. So we explored why and found out that she had bad memories with it. So we worked on releasing the negative memory and what she made it mean. And after that, she was able to go to work with a scrub, feeling happy and proud. So another little life-changing magic. And sometimes it's not the clothes itself, but the energy of the clothes that does not spark joy. So if you ever started with sentimental items by mistake, you see how much attachment and energy there is with the items. That's why you want to start with clothing. So here is the before and after picture of the clothing of one of my clients. So all the photos that I'll be sharing with you, I got permission from my client. And so this is busy professional with couple kids. And the left picture is their bedroom. They didn't often see a floor. They just walk on top of it and climb over to the bed. And it was not easy to find clean clothes because, you know, they may run the laundry, but afterward, it just gets dumped in the same spot. So they had to dig through. And they often spend the weekend away at a hotel just so that they can get away from their home, get some serenity. And then the right side is the after. She was so happy that she didn't have to dig through the clothes. And the best part for her is that when her kids, she had 2 kids, and when her kids goes to sleep over to their grandparents, she used to have to dig through to find all these clothes. But now she can just go and pick the clothes that she needs to pack for her children. And the packing got really easy. Okay, and then let me share the books. Right, so you see I have 2 before and after picture of the books. And one of them, it's a little small, so you may not be able to see, but you can see most of them. The books are overflowing, especially the middle picture. You can see that they had more than the bookshelf. And it was just, they didn't know what to do with. And after the KonMari method, it actually cleared out and gave her more space for the bookshelf. This is before and after of books and paper. This room used to be called jungle. So the left one, people who live in their house was referring it as a jungle because the stuff was all over the place and couldn't find anything. And then after, right, you see that everything has its own place and you actually be able to find things. You could actually use the desk. Before, the desk was not usable. So you see this desk, not usable desk with all the papers because he did not want to deal with it. So he just kept piling it up. And we sorted through and found designated spot that was not at his desk to be able to put it away. So that way, when he wants to use the desk is available for him. Okay, and this is me in between books and papers. I had 5 floor to ceiling bookshelf. And when I was working through books, and then, so this is right after I finished the books, but before I put it back, I figured I would do the papers too. So just so you know, if you're doing KonMari method, sometimes your home look like this, right? It looks like a bomb dropped off, and that's normal. But it's kind of like, you know, I think when you're a teenager, sometimes you have pimples, right? And right before all your pimples go away, you get all, and then it disappears. So just think that when you're working through and your room get like this, that, okay, I'm having my last pimple. And then after that, it's going to be all clear. Okay, and then this is paper and kimonos. So before, you can see the left side, all these papers, notebooks, and everything was covering up and couldn't find anything. So I don't know if you can see, but there are these cute little pens in here. And that's his favorite pen. And underneath all these papers, what we found is like 7 boxes of that pen, half used, right? Some boxes are open, some of them are brand new. And this is his favorite pen, but he didn't know where to find them. He didn't even remember he kept shoving it in here. So when we took everything out, we keep finding more boxes. And, you know, he was like me. oh, I can't find those pens. Why don't I just go out and buy more? Right now he can find them, so he doesn't have to go out and get more. Okay, and then here is the komonos, what you can do. And komono is pretty much something that's not clothing, that's not books, that's not paper, and that's not sentimental item. Everything else follows in komono, miscellaneous category. So what I love about what my client did is that he got jars, right? So that he can put all his pantry stuff in a jar, so it looks really pretty. But on top of it, he got this little figurine. He collects figurine. So he just put it in there. So that's the spark joy. So KonMari method is a little bit different from minimalist. Anything that sparks joy, you bring it in. Some of the people, your home may have a lot of clutter, but may not have anything that sparks joy. So I wouldn't recommend going out and buying a whole bunch of things. However, after you're done going through all the categories, you may want to start looking for things that spark joy and start adding spark joy element to your home. And here's a sentimental item. It's a trombone. One of my clients, when she was working through, she discovered that she had a very rusty trombone from her high school days, and it's been like 30 years. And it was really dear to her. So she really could not let go. But when she opened up her box and saw the rusty trombone that was really dear to her heart, it broke her heart. She's like, oh my God, I'm not using this and I'm never gonna use this again. It's been so many years, I don't know how to play them and I'm not planning on doing that. So what she did is she actually polished it. So the top part, you see the rust, and the bottom part, she actually polished it up so that she's able to give it away to donate to a local high school. So this is what I mean by you don't just have to toss them on the garbage. You can find a way to let go in a respectful way. So that's the little bit about each category. So clothing, books, papers, komonos, and sentimental items. So you want to go through them in that order. As I said, it gets harder as you go. And you may not believe it, but clothing is the easiest one. I've done it for myself and I've worked with many people, you know, some, especially women, it's like, no, clothing, I'm very attached to clothing. However, once you start to work through it, you know, clothing has seasons. And also, it often has like, you know, fashion runs out and stuff. So we're used to saying goodbye to clothing, but maybe not to other items. So that is the step that you want to take. Okay. And then the next 6th principle of KonMari dieting is finish discarding first. Repeat after me. Finish discarding first. Thank you. So until you are finished with your joy check and decide what you're keeping, you don't know how many items that you have. And often the mistake that we make is we start going to container store or some organizing store and start buying storage gadget, right? I totally understand because I didn't know how to organize. So I thought that the only thing for me to do is like, let me go out and buy more storage gadget. But often when you do KonMari method, you don't even need storage gadget because there will be open space for you to be able to put things in. And you want to wait until you're all the way through because you may need some, but you don't know exactly what kind and where to put them in until you have gone through all the items, all the 5 categories. So you want to put it away in a temporary storage. You find a place to put away, but know that it's temporary because when you start to make space, you may want to change things drastically. So don't get attached to it and don't go out and buying storage gadget yet until you're done joy checking all of your items. So releasing and decluttering your past, letting go of items that no longer serve you. and creating space for new beginning. You may experience the liberating feeling of releasing attachment to the past and embracing a more joyful, purposeful life. So letting go of an item often bringing new opportunities into life. There's so many stories of my clients and myself letting go, and all of a sudden, new opportunity comes in. One of my clients letting go of feeling unwanted and unloved in one of our sessions. All of a sudden, she was bombarded with calls and texts. Even during the session, she's like, oh, I never get this kind of text. Right? And then she's getting phone calls and she's like, okay, I'll call them later. And then she sent me a message afterwards saying like, oh my God, so-and-so was calling me to let me know how much he cares about me. So a little life-changing magic there. If you keep holding on to stuff you don't need, are you creating space or are you blocking the energy for something new? And where does it show up in your life? Are you holding on to a job you hate? Are you staying in a relationship that has expired? After you check everything, you find a permanent location for each items, as I mentioned before. And everything, some of it magically. Life too, everything fits when you work through stuff. So the last one, ask yourself if it sparks joy. Repeat after me. Ask yourself if it sparks joy. This is the key part of KonMari Method. You hold each item and ask yourself if it sparks joy. The reason being, you want to be able to feel this in your body. If you just look, you may be in your head thinking, oh, that was expensive. I want to keep it. I never wear it, but I don't want to waste my money. Spark joy items often bring our body up. So when you pick something that sparks joy for you, then you feel this feeling that's going up. And things that doesn't spark joy often weigh you down. So I want to stress one of the things that is a key part of KonMari Method is it's not about what you're throwing away or getting rid of. Although I do talk about it because often we end up letting go of a lot of stuff. But what's important, what we focus on is what sparks joy. So here is a task for you. Can you look around the room and find something that sparks joy? Or your favorite item and come back to the camera. So you have 60 seconds. I think all of you are at home, right? So just go grab something that sparks joy for you. And come back and show us in the camera. Yeah, thanks, Joseph. I know, I totally understand. I am like that too. I kept buying more storage gadget. Oh, yeah, Sonia too, and Veronique too. Yes, yes. I totally get it. I had so many that, you can fit, like 5 skirts in one hanger. Oh, Shirley, what's that? Can you unmute and tell me?
It's a Mother's Day card from my daughter.
Oh, so sweet. Yes,
I can see the resemblance.
Yes, yes. Oh, and let me see. Sonia, what do you got?
My water bottle.
Oh, your water bottle. Wow, that's huge.
Yes, it's a gallon. So it reminds me that I'm being healthier every single day that I have a sip.
Oh, I can see in your face how that sparks joy for you. And okay, anyone else? Anyone else? Okay, Joseph.
So this is hold on. So my wife's got me on her phone as well, awesome. But for me, this is so on our honeymoon 10 years ago, we had a clean canteen that was pink, we carried it throughout Europe with us. So this
Oh,
is a version of that. So it sparks joy because when we went to Europe, I carried this around and have bought a couple of variations of this because it reminds me of those days in Europe when we went to different Paris and Madrid and Barcelona, carrying that around.
very cool. Yes, I see on your face and in your voice how it sparked joy for you. And Veronique, what was that notebook?
It's my Kindle actually.
Oh.
And my Kindle sparks joy in part because while I read lots of other books, these are just for fun books. So this is rest and recreation. But also recently I went and got a new cover for it, and it's The Little Prince. And of course, being French and having grown up with reading The Little Prince, it's yes, this is something that really sparks joy. I even love the quote at the back of it. It says, one loves the sunset when one is so sad. But there's so many great quotes in The Little Prince. So yeah, I like it. This sparks joy, and this goes with me everywhere. So.
Oh, I love Little Prince too. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Okay, anyone else? Wendy, were you showing something? Or yes,
Yeah.
like a crystal.
Oh, always my crystals, yes, which I have many because of Joanna a lot of times. But yeah, always my crystals.
Yes, I have lots of crystal around too. And let's see, Chris, were you showing me something? I'm mute.
It's just a little dragon New Year's thing. Not sure if it's going to show up.
Oh,
There it
yeah,
goes.
yeah. Is that
It's
a book?
exactly.
Very
But since
cool.
Year of the Dragon's coming up, it's the other New Year.
Right. Oh, cool. Thank you. Yeah, and then you're in Hawaii, so it's easy to get things like that.
I got that one in Japan.
Oh, you did it in Japan. Cool. Thank you for sharing that. And Jody, did you have something up?
Yeah, so I'm not sure if you guys can see. I heard somebody already mention it, the crystals, but I have a bunch of crystals here.
Uh-huh.
I like having them. When I see them, they makes me feel so calm, especially this one.
Is that malachite?
Yes. I
Oh,
don't know, it does something to me that calms me.
they're pretty powerful. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Cool. And then anyone else, if you're showing me, oh, Carlos, show me. What's that? And you need to unmute yourself. I think maybe you're speaking.
My Fujifilm X-T3 camera
Oh,
is like literally a workhorse. I love it. It's very affordable, but you can do film quality videos with this. So you can go from super basic photography to film production. And I like it because two iPhones and taking quick pictures here and there. But with this, you get like really the power to produce quality images,
yeah.
So it's a challenge in itself to master. But the power you can get just by using it is amazing. The quality of the pictures, the crispness, the beauty. So yeah, it's I don't know, it's like driving a super powerful car, but in photography. So yeah, and I'm still learning to use it because it has so many features and so many things that offer you advantage to get better images. So yeah.
Very cool. And you take great photos. So now I see what you're using with it. Thank you for sharing that. Anyone else? If you're showing something like under, I may not be able to see it, so you got to bring it up. Oh, Monica.
I just love this pillow, actually. That's why I didn't run off, because I almost rarely have anything in my background. But I'm big into like moons and star patterns, and when I saw this, it absolutely sparked joy. It also has like these beads like on the side of it, so I'm absolutely in love with this. So as soon as you said it, I was like, right here.
Yeah, and it's great that you can always see it when you're on Zoom, right?
Yes, yeah. So
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Good, good. Okay, so I would like you to hold it again. Your Spark Joy item. For me, this is my mug with my face on it. And really feel that feeling of spark joy. Yeah, thank you. You guys are really feeling it. I love it. So that's what it's like when you actually hold something that sparks joy for you. And if you like, you can put it down. Or if it's easy for you to, keep feeling the joy, you could do that. So this way you can tell the difference with things that spark joy and things that does not spark joy for you. So, when you have things that spark joy for you around you, that feeling you just had, right? I saw all your smile. That will be around you. And when you have things that weigh you down, you get the opposite of that. So it could be like the clothes that was expensive, but you never worn, but it was too expensive that you don't want to waste it. Maybe you can think of it as it taught me what did not look good for me. Thank you. Right? And someone else can benefit from it. Or things that were important to you, just like the trombone. Find a way to let go, the way that sparks joy for you. And learning to say goodbye to your attachment graciously with gratitude. It will help you in every area of your life. And I have more stories about that, but I can share with that Q&A time if you have any questions. But oh my God, just letting go of item graciously open up so much miracle, physically and mentally and emotionally. So I explained the KonMari method in the order that is easier for you to understand. So now I want to put them all together in the chronological order. And I'll email you the step-by-step guide. So the first one, and then maybe we can say this together too. Okay, so the first one is commit yourself to tithing. Can we say it together? Commit yourself to tithing. Thank you. And then you want to greet home. Can we say it together? Greet home. And you can have your home be a support system for you. And then the third one is visualize your ideal home and lifestyle. Can we say it together? Visualize your ideal home and lifestyle. Thank you. And the fourth one, take before photos. Can we say it together? Take before photos. It's a great motivation because you get to actually, often a lot of people forget, but when you have before picture, then you can compare to the after photo and you can brag to your friends. Because when they show up in a nice, tidy home, they think that's just the way it's always been. Right? People love to see the transformation, and you probably want to share your transformation. It's a lot more fun. And then the next one, the first step is clothing. Okay, can we say clothing together? Clothing. Thank you. And do you remember what the second step was? Books. Can we say books together? Books. Remember what the third step was? I think maybe some of you got it.
Papers.
First, yes. Oh, thank you, Shirley. Yes, papers. So let's say it together. Papers.
Papers.
Okay, and then kimonos.
Kimonos.
So kimonos are the miscellaneous items, right? Can we say it all together? Kimonos. Thank you. And then the last one is sentimental items. Let's say this together. Sentimental items.
Sentimental items.
Okay, and then after that, you find a home, permanent address for each items. And then you take after photos so you can brag about it. And then you can start living your life that sparks joy. So that is the gist of all the steps. And obviously there's a lot more I can talk about each steps, but there's so much that I can share with you in a little bit over an hour. However, now you know how to do spiritual decluttering and all the steps. So now I would like you to take a moment to close your eyes. And think about why you want to do spiritual decluttering. And how would you like to spend your time at home? And what does your ideal life look like? What ideal lifestyle look like? And what does your ideal home look like? So you can open your eyes. And I'm going to put this in the chat. Okay, maybe not. Let's see. Can I put this in the chat? The question that I just asked you, I'll send it to you later. But you can spend this weekend maybe taking a little bit more time. The question I asked you, there's a lot to think about. So maybe you can spend a little bit more time thinking about what to do. Oh, there, I was able to put that. So that is the question. And if you want to live in a lifestyle that you just thought of, take an action, right? I don't want this to be a nice information. So whether you do it on your own or with me, New Year is a great time to start something new and plant a seed. You will thank yourself later. So before, and if you do need help, let me know. I do virtual and in-person session, so I can reach anywhere in the world. And hold on, I'm trying to put the survey in here. So that way, while I'm doing Q&A, you are able to answer that and save your time. So who made promise to yourself? You clean up your room this weekend. And the weekend came and left, and the home is still messy. Anyone had that kind of experience? Because I did many times. Thank you. So some people like me needed a guide. And also, when you get stuck with not knowing what to do with particular item, I can ask you the right question to bring out the answer from inside of you. So if you're interested in doing a private tidying festival with me, would love for you to book 30 minutes free consultation where you can tell me what your problem is and share how I can help you. And also, if there's enough interest, I'm considering starting a 5-week group spiritual decluttering. So we do one per each category, 1 week per category. And if you know where would be a good place for me to do these kind of speaking, either library or your company, please let me know. I'm open to any suggestions.